On World News Tonight this Monday, the breaking news, the miracle at sea. A Marine helicopter crashes into the ocean carrying more than 24 U.S. sailors and Marines. Tonight here, the incredible rescue. Martha Raddatz standing by live. On this Labor Day, the severe weather hitting tonight, the tornadoes, high winds. This is the view through the windshield, just as millions head home after the holiday. Ginger Z is right here. An ABC News investigation tonight sneaking into America. Brian Ross on the 6,000 foreign nationals who arrived here and who have now vanished. And first day, America's future smiling back at us tonight.
Hi, David.
Kindergartners across this country with the one thing they're most excited about. It turns out we're all starting something new.
From ABC News World Headquarters, this is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it is great to be with you on this Labor Day, and it is an honor to begin this journey with you. And we begin tonight with that developing story, word of a crash at sea and a stunning rescue. A Marine Corps helicopter, 25 sailors and Marines going down in the Gulf of Aden off the coast of Africa. All of them survived, and ABC's Chief Global Affairs Correspondent Martha Raddatz leading us off tonight. Martha, good evening.
Good evening, David. It's amazing that everyone got out alive in a crash like this involving one of these big, top-heavy helicopters that have a tendency to flip over and sink fast if they hit the water. It was a Super Stallion helicopter just like this one, seen here approaching the same ship, the USS Mesa Verde, last month. You can see the landing spot on the deck clearly marked, but landing these big helicopters in the wind and the waves on moving ships is challenging. Today's accident happened on approach. An official says it hit the ship just before it was about to land and then crashed into the sea.
This was a shock. Bang, bang, in the water.
The ship immediately launched a small boat to help rescue the 25 on board, all trained for exactly this kind of accident.
They learn to overcome that initial fear and understand that self-control is what's going to be the key to survival.
Only one of those aboard sustained significant injury, but not bad enough to require evacuation from the ship. These Super Stallions are one of many types of helicopters at sea, as we saw during a trip to the Gulf of Oman. Vital to missions around the world, especially the volatile Mideast.
And Martha's back with us live from Washington. Martha, any early word on a cause here?
Well, they're not sure what caused the crash, whether it was mechanical or a crew error. It certainly wasn't hostile action, but tonight everyone is just happy that everyone is safe. David?
Including us. Martha Raddatz starting us off tonight. Martha, thank you. We're going to turn now to the other developing headline tonight. Millions of Americans driving home after the holiday weekend, back to work, back to school. But first, driving through some horrific weather. Take a look at this tonight. Golf ball-sized hail pounding cars in Kansas, leaving a lot of damage in its wake. And there was this, a shelf cloud signaling storms moving in over parts of Iowa. 80-mile-per-hour winds right behind it. And just take a look at the weather wall tonight. Every dot up there on that map, a burst of severe weather reported on this Labor Day weekend. More than 180 reports of severe weather, and tonight there is more on the way. Reported tornadoes touching down today, and this evening millions in the storm zone before it's done. ABC meteorologist Ginger Z tracking it all.
As millions attempt to enjoy summer's last gasp, Mother Nature laboring on Labor Day. Parts of Michigan erupting with severe storms. An inch of rain fast filling the streets outside Grand Rapids. In Worcester, Massachusetts Sunday,
I heard crash, crash. I thought it was hail. And all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. I heard crack, 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 crack. And this destroyed two of my cars.
an EF0 tornado, winds up to 85 miles per hour, ripping a path just under 2 miles long.
It's incredible. You don't expect to have tornadoes in Worcester. I mean, we don't live in Kansas.
It's actually the 6th tornado reported in Massachusetts this year. But she's right, it's not Kansas. This was. The hail raining down, growing to golf ball size. Those sinister shelf clouds creeping across the plains. Inside, gusts up to 80 miles per hour. At least 5 people from Kansas to New York City struck by lightning.
Just stunning pictures this Labor Day weekend. Ginger, what are you watching tonight?
A severe thunderstorm watch already in place for parts of Oklahoma and Kansas. Let me take you straight to the map, David. Right through Missouri into southern Illinois, that's the threat area tonight. But that same cold front that produced reported tornadoes in Michigan will sink to the south and east. In western New York down to central Kentucky, we're watching tomorrow for those damaging winds, flash floods, and large hail. You're thinking late afternoon and evening when everyone's getting back from their commute. And then finally, Tropical Depression 5 has come together and looks like it will become Dolly in the next 24 hours. Tropical storm Dolly, of course, going right into about 200 miles south of Brownsville, right there in Mexico. If this becomes Dolly, it is now the D in the alphabet of the tropical storm season, the hurricane season. And the last time we waited this long for D was 1994, so 20 years ago.
A long wait, but that's okay with us. All right, Ginger, thank you. We're going to turn around the world tonight into a new crackdown this evening aimed at stopping budding terrorists in their tracks. The proposal in Britain tonight comes 2 weeks now after that gruesome image, that killer who executed American journalist James Foley. The mysterious hooded man with what sounded like a British accent. Tonight, British authorities taking the lead after upping the threat level there heading into the weekend. Tonight, saying it is time to seize the passports of suspected terrorists to prevent them from leaving the UK to fight in Syria and in Iraq and to prevent them from joining ISIS. Meantime, back in this country tonight and to an eye-opening ABC News investigation here. With all of that concern in Britain over homegrown terror, there is news tonight. 6,000 foreign nationals have traveled here to America and have now disappeared. How did they do it? And were any of them sneaking into this country? ABC's chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross tonight.
For a down payment of just a few $100s, there's a much easier way than this for people to sneak into the country. Here's how. Get a U.S. student visa to go to school and then disappear. As of today, U.S. authorities are investigating the whereabouts of more than 6,000 foreign nationals who arrived in the U.S. on student visas and have vanished, their intentions unknown.
They just disappear.
That's just what happened with the 9/11 hijacker who flew the passenger jet into the Pentagon. And authorities say the problem continues.
It's been pointed out over and over and over again, and the fact that nobody's done anything about it yet, that's a very dangerous thing for all of us.
It's a well-intentioned program that allows more than 1 million foreign students a year to study in the U.S. But an ABC News investigation found Homeland Security also certifies 86 beauty schools, 36 massage schools, and 9 schools that teach horseshoeing, all valid for U.S. visas.
Why a horseshoeing school? What's the value in that for the U.S.?
I'm not too sure what the value of that for the U.S. would be, Brian.
Peter Edge heads investigations for ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
I do agree it's a problem, Brian.
But they've blended into the landscape somewhere.
They have blended into the landscape.
It's like disappearing, isn't it?
Well, virtually.
ICE agents have brought criminal charges in some cases, including against 5 top administrators at what's called the Micropower Career Institute in New York, where authorities say they essentially offered an easy path to U.S. visas for the price of tuition.
Can you please leave the premises?
None of the administrators would come out when we showed up, and they've all pleaded not guilty to visa fraud charges. But incredibly, despite the indictment, the operation remains on the Homeland Security list of schools certified for foreign student visas.
Here it is, right here.
Right.
How can they still be on the list of certified schools?
Brian, I can only say that this is the United States of America and everyone has due process.
In the wake of the 9/11 attacks, there were also calls for tighter rules and FAA approval for U.S. flight schools that train foreign students. But in the most recent audit, more than 1/3 of the flight schools accepting foreign students still had not been certified by the FAA, David.
All right, a lot of questions unanswered. Brian, thank you. Tonight from the Syrian border with Lebanon, where we know ISIS has taken a stand, a new and stunning number. More than half the population in Lebanon are now refugees from Syria. In fact, more than 3 million Syrians have now fled, many of them children. And look at this tonight. Our cameras were right there on the Syrian border, where I learned children don't board school buses, they board pickup trucks, taken to work in the fields, supporting their families at 8, 9, 10 years old. They come from middle-class families, their parents once teachers, lawyers, and now they are the ones supporting their parents. Tomorrow night, right here, we're on those trucks for those grueling days in the field. Is anyone looking out for the children? That's tomorrow night right here on World News Tonight. Meanwhile, to another hotspot this evening, President Obama preparing to head to Europe for a crucial meeting of world leaders this week. What to do about Russia and Ukraine. And tonight we've learned NATO is now planning to launch a rapid response team that can deploy a strike force, several thousand troops in as little as 48 hours. And to Iceland tonight, and to some remarkable images coming in, an ancient volcano roaring back to life, spewing lava 200 feet into the air. Just look at it. A monster cloud so big, aviation experts had raised the alert level to its highest level, banning all flights below 6,000 feet. Tonight, that code red has now been lifted. Back here at home tonight, and the hunt is on for the man in this surveillance tape considered armed and dangerous, nicknamed the AK-47 Bandit. And you can see why, wielding a powerful assault rifle. And that's not all. Authorities pointing to one thing tonight, the word written across his vest, Sheriff. The suspect reportedly claiming to be a former law enforcement officer, but will he be caught before he strikes again? ABC's Cecilia Vega tonight with the tape.
Tonight across the West, the all-out manhunt intensifying for this masked man, wanted for 5 bank robberies in 4 states, most recently making off with a duffel bag full of cash in Nebraska, each time wielding an assault weapon, often wearing a bulletproof vest.
We're going to track this guy down wherever he goes.
Authorities say his spree began 2 years ago here in Chino, California. The bandit robbing a bank, shooting and seriously wounding a police officer.
He fires like 4 shots at the car. Boom, 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 boom.
The FBI suspects he also called in a bomb threat as a diversion.
911 emergency, what are you reporting? I have a bomb. This is not a drill. You hear me?
The AK-47 Bandit has shown such proficiency with the gun, including right here at this bank. The FBI tells me it's now looking into the possibility that he's a former police officer or ex-military. In fact, during one Idaho heist, police say he bragged about being a former officer. And look at these surveillance pictures. He's seen wearing a sheriff's vest.
And if you're willing to shoot a police officer, you're probably willing to do just about anything.
The FBI hoping to catch this bandit, last seen carrying that AK-47. Cecilia Vega, ABC News, Chino, California.
Cecilia Vega tonight. Cecilia, thank you. We're going to turn now to that blockbuster medical headline involving the #1 killer in the world, heart disease. Tonight we're learning more here about an experimental treatment now being called a potential breakthrough. So promising, they stopped the study in the middle of it all, and now the next step, FDA approval. Let's get right to ABC senior medical contributor Dr. Jen Ashton. And Jen, you were telling us in the newsroom, this is a big deal.
Absolutely. This is the first drug of its kind in pill form to treat congestive heart failure. It's a combination of 2 drugs, and in this study, which was the largest ever done for heart failure, it was found to reduce deaths from heart disease by 20% and improve quality of life.
By 20%, though, that's a staggering figure. In the meantime, how long will it take to get approval to get it out there?
Well, first it needs to be studied more in African-American patients and in women, but if the FDA approves this, it could be available as early as 2015. Highly significant and very optimistic.
All right, Dr. Ashton with us here tonight. Doctor, thank you. And tonight, as America heads back to work after Labor Day, we're not heading back to a paycheck like this one. One of the biggest endorsement deals in sports history, NBA star Kevin Durant, our partners at ESPN now reporting that Nike is offering Durant $300 million over the next 10 years to stay on. The deal negotiated by superstar Jay-Z's company, Roc Nation Sports, just as Durant was considering leaving Nike for another sportswear company. Durant tweeting today, excited and humbled to sign back with the swoosh. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Labor Day. That big headline today, the famous faces who say their private photos were stolen. So tonight here, we ask, how safe are your photos on your computer? The answer is eye-opening. The vacation hero, the man on his balcony who spotted not only the swimmers, but the hammerhead shark. What he did next, he's right here tonight. And you've got to stay tuned for this, America's Future Tonight. Kindergartners from all over this country getting ready, and what's the one thing they're most excited about? They made us laugh. Well, perhaps you read that headline today. Some famous faces saying their photographs were stolen, hacked. Tonight, the FBI is on the case as we ask here, how safe is the private information, the photos you've stored through your own computer? And is your Wi-Fi making it easier for hackers to get your information? ABC's Lindsay Davis back on the case tonight.
An invasion of privacy tonight, impacting some of the biggest stars in the world. Personal photos of some A-list celebrities were reportedly posted on photo-sharing site 4chan, allegedly obtained by hacking cloud accounts, those huge servers that can automatically back up every picture you take on your phone.
Even if you have deleted photos from your phone, oftentimes they've already been uploaded into the cloud. They continue to exist.
Apple said today they're investigating if their iCloud service was breached. But researchers say many of us are making it all too easy for criminals to access our most private information. We're cruising the streets of New York, scanning for unprotected Wi-Fi networks.
Currently, we have 260 networks, and we've traveled about, 1 yard?
Security expert Chester Wisniewski finds almost a quarter of wireless networks have weak or no protection, leaving emails, financial accounts, everything exposed.
I would see their instant message conversations, the photos they're sharing.
And when you're on the go, remember that free public Wi-Fi comes with a privacy risk, too.
Is it safe for me to go on there?
It's very easy for an intruder to see pretty much everything you're doing.
It's an opportunity for hackers, some setting up fake Wi-Fi hotspots to entrap you. When we set up a free network called Free Public Wi-Fi,
We've got 3 Androids and 2 iPhones and an iPad.
users were logging in less than 5 minutes. Some simple tips: put your router in the center of your home, not near the window. Always accept the software updates on your phone. And watch those passwords. Make them difficult. The longer, the better.
Jennifer, you look great.
Important steps to prevent anyone from peeking into our entire lives. Lindsay Davis, ABC News, New York.
All right, Lindsay, thank you. When we come back here tonight, what we're now learning about Joan Rivers. And as summer winds down, the vacation hero tonight, 2 swimmers, 1 hammerhead shark, and the guy who began yelling from his balcony. He's right here next. Our instant index here on this Labor Day Monday, and Joan Rivers. So much concern about the 81-year-old comedian and her health tonight. She's still fighting for her life, unconscious after going into cardiac arrest last Thursday following an outpatient procedure. Tonight, sources saying she is sedated in serious condition with her family by her side. They say they are grateful for the outpouring of love, prayers, and support, and of course, we're pulling for her too. And a home video nearly gone awry. Watch this, a family on vacation at a lake. They own their own drone, an expensive camera, flying overhead, capturing the moment, but the battery wasn't fully charged. The drone descends, and the dad comes running to the rescue, emptying his pockets and then sprinting into the water to save not only the family's expensive toy, caught on tape, not to mention the family memories saved. Dad, the hero tonight. And just when you thought it was safe to get back into the water, a hammerhead shark. 2 swimmers at a beach in Florida, and they were not alone. Watch the top left-hand corner of your screen there. There's the shark. The guy filming, trying to warn them from his balcony, shouting. And today he described to our producers what it was like to watch that near miss.
Man, it was like a train wreck. If that fish had gotten close to them, you know, they might have been in trouble. I don't even know if they understood what we were saying, but my whole theory is if somebody's yelling at you, high up on a balcony, you need to get out the water.
I'd say that's pretty good advice. Good advice indeed. And one more note, something on your Labor Day list to do. A lot of viewers reaching out to us, noticing that their DVRs weren't working because we added tonight into the World News name. World News Tonight, so we hope you'll reset your DVR or watch us live. It's kind of fun live. When we come back here on a Monday night, they still say the darndest things. The little ones tonight getting ready for their first day of school, and they tell us right here what they are most excited about. You won't believe what they say.
ABC World News Tonight with David Muir. Brought to you by BP.
And finally tonight here, I still remember my first day of kindergarten, pulling up on the school bus, everyone else getting off, and then I turned to the bus driver and said, "This isn't for me." She still got me off that bus. And somehow the kindergartners of today seem a lot more confident. Just listen to what they're most excited about tonight.
Hi, David. Hi, David. Hi, David. I'm a first grader.
We started out today with a simple question on Twitter. Are your children excited for the first day of school? Some of them most excited about their backpack.
I have a Star Wars backpack.
Here's Isabel with her new backpack, still waiting for her new teeth tonight. And there was Dahlia, who's not entirely ready.
Hi, World News Tonight. As you can see, I love sparkles, and I need to get new shoes.
And we love Jonah, future astronaut.
I can't wait to go to kindergarten. This is my pants. This is my sweater. This is my backpack. And this is my water bottle. Ta-da!
And Jonah's not alone. 3.7 million kindergartners going to public school this year. Start saving for college. Jonah's graduating in the year 2027. And we did the math today. That means 2,340 school days before he graduates. And then there was Jalea from Rochester, New York. She took us to the end of the driveway where she'll be tomorrow morning.
I wait for my bus.
And tonight, we haven't forgotten all of those pre-Ks out there getting started too. And just listen to how Evan answered this.
Are you excited? Are you happy?
Sure.
The future tonight. And I just wanted to take a moment to thank so many of you for your messages and your tweets, so many during the news tonight, and one in particular from Diane. Thank you, friend, for everything. And so one more time, as I've often said, for Diane Sawyer and all of us here at ABC News, have a good evening, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Good night.